This is Wally, my bearded dragon, and he is my first pet. So he means a lot to me. But honestly, I don't know that much about bearded dragons. Two different places who I thought would have the most knowledge on how to take care of my bearded dragon. I was able to get a hold of a lizard veterinarian who works out of Auburn, Alabama, and I was able to get in touch with someone who works at Oxbow Meadows, which is a conservation here in Columbus, Georgia. I wanted to know what they thought was important when taking care of these lizards.
I am an environmental educator out here at Oxbow Meadows, and we have bearded dragons out here. I also have personal experience working with them and doing research on them when I used to own them.
We were talking earlier about substrates and how that can affect a bearded dragon's diet. Like sand, what was it that you had mentioned about them?
So there's a lot of controversy around sand being used for dragons, but it can be used in their actual enclosures. It just very greatly depends on having the right humidity and the right temperature for the sand to be digested properly through their body. So if there's incorrect humidity or incorrect temperatures, that can lead to impaction, which is not fun to deal with.
What kind of substrates do you have your bearded dragons here in?
So one of our bearded dragons, he is on aspen shavings, and so far he's been doing really good on him. He likes to dig underneath it, which is good stimulus for him. And our other bearded dragon, who is about 14-ish years old, he is on tile. It keeps his nails nice and short at all times.
All right, fabulous, thank you. What do you feed your lizards here?
So the dragons here are fed every other day, so they eat 3 to 4 times a week. And they, of course, are omnivores, so they'll get a variety of fruits and vegetables and, of course, protein. So they mostly eat collard greens. Favorite protein is by far crickets and superworms.
This interview really made me more comfortable with how I am taking care of Wally and gave me some insight on things I could possibly change in his current environment, which I really liked and made me really comfortable, and it was really cool to learn some new things about him and how to take care of him. The doctor I spoke to specifically wanted to talk about the parasites that are in bearded dragons and that they can get.
I am Dr. Kim West. Well, today I'd like to focus on the parasites of the bearded dragon. When I graduated in 1996 and opened up a vet clinic, I included exotics. It was a natural step for me. I had already had a large amount of exotics on my own and had an interest in it. So when I opened, I realized that a lot of times owners did not realize that the exotics, or particularly the reptiles, needed just as much care as the puppy and the kitten. Our focus today would be on the parasites that the bearded dragons or any of the other reptiles carry. The bearded dragons do carry a lot of parasites. And I think there was a time and period where people really didn't think about that as a problem, that they can carry so many parasites and not be a danger to them. Well, the same thing could be said about puppies and kittens. They can carry some parasites, but an overload of them would be a problem. Well, it's the same thing with the bearded dragons. I've put just a few on here, and these are the common ones we find when we do a fecal analysis. Even the most common ones, the oxyurids, which are the pinworms, there's a mentality that says, oh, they can handle the pinworms. We don't have to do anything about it. Well, the pinworms in themselves can cause anorexia, weight loss, and if they have an overload of them, they can certainly cause death. So once you establish the fact that parasites are there and parasites do cause harm, we come to the question of what do we do about it? Well, one thing for sure at home, is to keep your environment clean. That means that the substrate needs to be totally changed out, or either it needs to be something like a carpet or that you can take out and clean thoroughly and put back in. The other thing that needs to happen is you need to bring a fecal sample to your veterinarian once every 6 months. So when you bring your fecal sample and your baby to the veterinarian, they'll do a fecal analysis on there. For my clients, we go ahead and deworm that 6-month period, for that 6-month period if we find nothing at all. It's just a maintenance dose, you know. And then if they do have parasites, we do a deworming series. It's one deworming now, one in a week, and one in a week past that. So it's important to know that your bearded dragon does have parasites. The question is what kind and how many, what you can do about it environmentally, and to actually treat the parasites once you get to a veterinarian.
But whatever type of pet you have, whether it's a dog, a cat, or a lizard, make sure you do your research and try your best to be an informed, responsible owner.